Hey, welcome back. Now, I have noticed that my microphone is sometimes like real loud and sometimes really quiet. And I'm just finishing up doing some videos on my computer, and then I'm going to be transitioning over to a different camera. Okay. So we're going to figure this out. I'm just editing as I go along. My name is Dale. Welcome to Cohesion Through Chaos. That is officially my business name, Cohesion Through Chaos LLC. And what I do is I just try to help you in whatever way possible to help you get on purpose for what you feel is meant for you. Okay. I've been through a million and 10 different things. And the basis of like everything is knowing how to find inner peace, knowing who you are inside, trusting who you are. When you feel out of alignment or when you feel like you don't want to do something, it's because you don't want to. Okay. There's some truth in that. But we're so used to feeling uncomfortable that we just think like, well, damn, I'm not supposed to feel comfortable. So every time you do, every time you choose the thing that like feels better for you, it's like we choose it in the smallest ways possible. Of like, well, I just rather eat ice cream today instead of like, um, going and doing something that would really actually make you feel good. Okay. Like taking a bath, taking a freaking like salt bath or something. There is some real essential stuff that is going on in there. Like, what do you think is going to feel better? Taking a salt bath or eating ice cream? It's like they're both things to make you feel comfortable. So start when you start feeling those things, I want you to start thinking about like what are my other options? If the first thing that you think of is like, damn, I just want to go and eat a pizza or something, it's like, well, okay, what that tells me is that I just want to feel good right now. Okay. And that's a quick fix. So if you choose that that's what you want to do, go ahead and do that. But try to think of like three other options and then go with the one that seems like it would be most healing and most like if taking a vacation feels like it would be the most healing, but you can't freaking do that, try to think of some in between things, okay? So think of the like the ego way of feeling better, which is going to be a quick fix, and then think of the spiritual way of feeling better, which is going to be like complete enlightenment, right? And then think of some things in between there, okay? So this video is dedicated to all of the 100 people, if that was really how many names that I had, that I found on an introvert Facebook group back in 2020 because I wanted to get better at being a tarot reader because I just felt like I already know what's going on with people. I already know the advice to give, but if you don't I don't know. The cards take this stuff that I already know and it sets it out on the table for us to talk about together because sometimes people aren't going to tell you the truth of what's going on, okay? So this is a way that we get like straight to the point symbolically through cards. Okay. It's not like some weird old fashioned like devil stuff. Like I'm sure people want to use it for that way. There's probably people out there who are using it that way just to make money or whatever. But that's not what is going on here. Okay. It's like, um, I am a big fan of Carl Jung, and he happens to kind of break down why tarot is important. He is not alive anymore. But anyway, I'm going to pause it here. I'm going to like push everything back, give you an idea of the space that I work with. And what we are going to do is a reading that I have developed over a couple of years now. Well, I guess it's like 5 years of really trying to discover what tarot is for me and, how it works with me. Um, yeah, so that I can use it to help you if you're interested in that. So, all right, just let me pause. Okay. Okay. So I'm gonna take you through just this is like training how if you want to be a tarot reader. These are common things, helpful things that you might like. Okay. So sage, all right. I'm sure that this is like I don't know what they use to make it black, but I got it at Five Below. You should really check it out. They got a lot of cool spiritual stuff. Sage has been used forever and ever and ever and a day. All right. And so like I don't care if it seems stupid. It's wise people are wise for a reason. It's because they don't just do what trends say that they should. Okay. So this stuff, things that are ancient, that's where you should be gaining your insight from. And just for another little extra bit of like zhuzhing up our energy, Palo Santo. Okay. that is lesser known, but it has gained popularity over the past 10 years. Okay. Oh, it smells so good. Okay. So we're just going to kind of let that do its thing. Please, if you're doing this stuff, put it in a safe area. Okay. I'm just trying to create a little safe space for it right now. Okay. Because my table is wooden and I don't want to set it on fire. Okay. So, I keep a blue glass of water, which it's not easy to see because the background is blue, but the throat chakra is blue. Okay. So I tend to think that when we work with colors, or if we're drinking water, we might as well like multitask with colors and what they're useful for. All right. So I have my water here that I believe helps my throat chakra because I believe that blue is the color of the throat chakra. So you have to work with what you already believe, okay? Or like develop certain beliefs so that you're not always walking around all confused in this world. And then I use a little sea salt. I take some. So if you were having a reading with me directly, I would give you some and I take some. And that is just to increase our electrical conductivity, right? Because salt is an electrolyte. I happen to think that this is a really good brand because I do research on these things and that's what's recommended. So I have some and I give you some. Actually, give it to you in your hand though. I don't just fling it at you like I just did. Very salty. But if you want like quick energy and you don't want to pay a ton of money for energy drinks, you might as well just go with salt. That's what they're trying to recreate in energy drinks anyway. Okay. And there's just so many more minerals in really good sea salts and Redmond's salt. Okay. And that's like an earth salt. I like the idea of having an earth salt and a sea salt. Okay. So let's see. What else? You might find that I take pauses often because I don't edit and I like to be efficient with what I'm saying. So let's pause. Hang on. Right. And just to clarify, you don't need tons of stuff to get started, okay? You just need to get started. And then as things kind of call to you along the path, then and you find out more, then go for it, okay? I keep this huge chunk of obsidian. It is a very, very sharp. I have cut myself um at least once unintentionally, but I like to bring it with me on car trips because I have to take like long car rides sometimes. And obsidian is really good at like deflecting negative energy, but also if you have things in your environment that are not like seen as weapons, but they could be used as weapons, then you are like keeping yourself safe in the car, okay? Or if you just you never know what you're going to need and what environments you're going to end up in. This is black tourmaline. I consider this to be very good at absorbing and deflecting negative energy, okay? And we've had some issues in the house that when they're not around, like when I had them outside clearing, then there was stuff going on. And yeah, and then it was because I realized like, oh, I didn't bring the stuff back in. And so, that's why we have to create belief in things so that we can change our mindset so that we don't have to go through bad stuff for too long. All right. And then my last step before this, like before we get into it, is Florida water. Okay. I don't know how I came into the know of it, but I just know that it's used amongst like spiritualists um, for a long time. Okay. And I happen to really like it. When I smell it, oh my gosh. And like kind of when I put it over my chakras, my energy centers, it feels so crazy good. Just so you know, I'm a very analytical person. I'm a Capricorn. And so I think all this stuff is like silly because the world doesn't believe in it. So it doesn't matter. I have to create a world because I like it so much and it makes sense to me and I like the people who are doing it. So I've created a body, mind, spirit reading and we're going to go through it together. I'm going to do it as if I'm reading for myself. So I create these little triangles. Okay. So go ahead, knock on the energy or knock on the cards to clear the energy. And I'm going to show you there. I don't have a box for it because I got it from Five Below. And so I just keep it in a plastic bag. This is my least valuable deck. Let's see what's at the bottom. This is nostalgia. Okay. It's a Six of Cups, literally. And it has meanings written on it, but I find that they are not great. So anyway, I'm gonna shuffle it a few times. I do allow this deck to go into reversals. So I shuffle it into itself intentionally so that I'm getting reversals. So right about now, I think that we can just focus down here and we shall stay focused. Oh, and I would also put the Florida water in your hands if we're having the reading together. Okay. All right. And then I just shuffle them up. If something wants to fall out, I let it, but I try more to shuffle it up and then let you take six. Mm, hang on. Sometimes it just doesn't feel right. Okay, I'm just gonna go with that. Now at the bottom of the deck, we have the world. And I want to show you that I created this wreath um, a couple of weeks ago because I thought about it as completing a cycle. And that's what the world card is. Normally they'll show you, and I'll show you in a different deck if it comes up, that you are creating a completed cycle. You are completing it. And okay, so like I said, I'm considering this me. Um, so the and it's a 21. So 2 plus 1 equals 3 in numerology. So it's showing me that in my actual world, things are coming to completion. And this is what it came from. Okay. It was like at the foundation of this, because it's a arrow pointing down, basically. It's like a triangle. Now, I'm dealing with my microphone cord here. So we'll deal with that. Okay. Okay. So we have the 3 of swords in the upright, the 4 of cups in the upside down, and the Knight of Cups. Okay. And he is also in the upside down. And so what this tells me is that there has been like a lot of mental anguish because of feeling heartbroken, because there was just no emotional fulfillment. But when it's upside down, it's like when it's in the upright, it's kind of like no emotional fulfillment because you don't know what you want, or like the person that you were with. Okay, what it seems like is that there was heartbreak, but it's more mental than anything. That's what heartbreak is. It's mental, okay? Because it's in the swords. And it's because there was like somebody in your life that really didn't understand what emotional fulfillment and filling up one's own cup is. And so they couldn't walk in what they were saying. They couldn't bring it to you because they couldn't bring it to themselves. Okay? So that's why the knight is in the reverse. And then what's what it comes down to after that is like because of that, then there was this 8 of cups and then this ace of swords, which is the 8 of cups is like leaving behind the old emotional baggage. Cups are emotions. Okay, so hopefully you can see them. It's hard for me to see it from the angle that I'm at. And the ace of swords is a new opportunity. It's like, okay, you just realized that like heartbreak is only mental. So you're like, oh, that is freaking fabulous because now I realize it's like I can let it go as soon as I can bring in a new idea or a new thought, right? And once you realize that, once you let go of this old emotional baggage, then you leave room for God to give you a new idea. And that's what's been coming in. And death is in the reverse, okay? It's like you don't have to start over anymore. You don't have to start over because death would be like, okay, change is about to come because, and this is a major arcana. So there's like a 10 of swords, which symbolizes death, but that's like a death of an old way of thinking. But when it's death, as a major arcana, it means that something is like from the roots, it's dried up and done in your life, okay? And now that already happened. That already happened. So thank goodness we get to move forward. So I'm going to set that off to the side because if I shuffle other cards over top of them, they fly all over the place. I'm going to set it off to the side and then hopefully you'll get an visual of how this. So it's sort of like a pyramid that we're building. Okay. So the mind is what this deck is about. Okay. And it is, let me see what was at the bottom because the Queen of Swords. All right. So her words cut like a knife, right? So when people want to step to her and just think that she's any old girl, oh, look at the cut. There it is again. So let's shuffle it in. She's like, oh, you know what? I've learned a lot about heartbreak. It is only words and thoughts and stuff. So she's like, I can break your heart just by talking. And I don't have to say much. Okay. So this one I don't do in reversals. Let me give this another shuffle. All right, and then this one I build from the bottom up. And there's no rhyme or reason as to like where I'm choosing from or what ends up at the top or whatever. It's just how I feel. Okay. And I don't spend a lot of time reading tarot cards. So I watch other readers who are like amazing at shuffling. And I'm just like, I'll get there. The tower in the upright. Okay. The tower in the upright. Things are happening. Your mind knows it. Okay. So in the mind is where spirit and it's where spirit and body sort of meet together, okay? Because your thoughts can travel a whole lot faster than what how quickly things can happen in your external environment in your physical world. So that and that's the space of where we have this difficulty of like I do not know which path to choose because I'm thinking about it, okay? Because everything is processed through your mind. But I do believe that God speaks from within your heart, but you think it, right? So it's very hard for us to understand like what our ego wants us to do and what our heart wants us to do. And that's because in the moment of it happening, when the thoughts are happening, it seems like the same thing. It seems like the same voice. Like, oh, if I'm perpetually thinking about this thing and it's looping in cycles in my mind, then my heart must really want it. Okay. So there's a lot of illusion that happens in the mind. But I really like this deck because it's golden and it's beautiful. And gold can happen in your mind if you learn to discern the voices between your heart and, you know, just what your old broken stigmas are bringing you to. So, all right. So the tower means that something outside of your control is crumbling um, the things that didn't work before. Okay, because it's sort of creating this break in where your ego is to where it's not letting it get in the way of you walking within your heart in the real world. Okay, so let's take a look at what we have on the bottom row. We have these are really powerful cards. Okay, so the Ace of Wands, that is like a new creative passion. All right. Um, the Empress, which is like birthing a new creative passion, or it's just she's pregnant, okay? So she's ready to give birth to something. And then the King of Swords, okay? So we already had the Queen of Swords show up at the bottom of the deck, but then I shuffled it up some more. So it's like in your mind, you're trusting what's going on right now because you understand that it's not just coming from your wounds anymore. It's that because you've allowed this openness of the conversation of your heart to soothe the thoughts of the mind. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. All right. So 5 of Cups and 6 of Swords. And 5 of Cups is like looking at the spilled cups of like, um, that's the emotional stuff. It's like the 3 of Cups. Okay. There's a card that is the 3 of Cups, and it's like this gathering together of people that you like, and it just fills up your heart. Okay. So when in the 5 of Cups, when this dude is just looking at the 3 of Cups that are like tipped over, it's because he's like, nobody is in my environment that I feel like fills me up. And it's like, it's never gonna happen. It's never gonna happen. But if he just was started to walk forward, walk in a straight line. Guess what? There's no real straight lines because we live on a sphere. So if you walked in a straight line, you would end up back where you started from. But behind him are 2 cups. And so that's the thing is that if you didn't have emotional fulfillment with the people and the places that you are in, walk freaking forward because you're going to find it. It might be back where you started, but either way, it's like you have to move forward if you want to find partnership that fills you emotionally. All right. So it looks kind of like a sad card, but it's like that's the power of overcoming your head and your thoughts. This is the 6 of Swords. That's like exactly what's going on. We had the 8 of Cups, and that's like leaving emotional baggage, but the 6 of Swords is like taking all the thoughts and memories of what seemed like heartache and all that other stuff and just being like, hey, this is all we got right now. I'm taking what I got and I'm moving forward into these turbulent waters of the unknown so I can move forward into placid, calm waters. And then there's land on the other side of that. And at the top, we have the Seven of Wands, which is standing on top and defending the position in which you are at. Okay. It's like, that's not really how you want to do it. But look, at the bottom, we have the Ace of Wands, and that's like what you have in your hand. It's like you don't really have to fight with anybody because you have this gift from God of creativity and you're finally moving forward with it, okay? And you have the King of Swords on your side to know how to like cut through all the bullshit. Don't mince words. Just think the thoughts that are going to get you moving forward and speak the words that are in alignment with it. Okay, so that's what is there's a lot of like positive stuff going on in the mind space right now where it was previously like stagnant and based on what was going on in the environment around you. Now we have the spirit space, okay? And let's see what we've got. All right. This is the eight of just on the cut. We've got the eight of pentacles, which means like working on your skill, working on your craft. And that is what is going on right now. This is what I am doing. And then again, we have the four of cups, okay, in the upright. And it's like, but in this deck, it's not depicted as, oh, that cup's not good enough for me. I'm not going to look at it. It's like, oh, damn, Spirit brought me a new cup because I stopped focusing on the other ones, you know? All right. So it's kind of fun to like look at all the meaning that can come through. So at the bottom of the deck, we have the Knight of Wands. Was he in the reverse? Oh, it was the Knight of Cups who was in the reverse before. So the Knight of Wands is like this creative, this Ace of Wands, okay, because there's only one wand in it. So to me, that is the Ace of Wands. That is God's creative gift that He built you with, and it's coming straight for you, and it's moving in hot. Okay, the sun is there to honor it. It's meant to grow. Wands are actually kind of like branches in traditional deck, and there's always growth on them. So it's like your creative passions are growing in the light of the sun, and they are moving fast. Okay. Okay. So we have the Seven of Swords. We have the Page of Wands and we have the sun. Okay. And this is from spirit. So we are in this spiritual realm right now. Um, so the Seven of Wands is like it's thought to be sort of like this trickster energy, like deceitful people being in your environment, stealing your things. But I this one looks to me like it's almost like it's standing on here. Okay, sorry. It's standing on this sword, okay, which was that Ace of Swords that we saw before. You know, I like to really allow the card to speak for what the message is for each individual reading, but sometimes they kind of cross over. So it's like, all right, which crow looks like it's better off? Does it look like this one that's flying away, carrying all this stuff? As a matter of fact, he's only got three swords, which is like, he's trying really hard to fly with three swords, which the Three of Swords is that heartbreak card. But again, it's like mental stuff. So somebody is really struggling to get out of the space that they are in because they are focused on their thoughts where they think that they have heartbreak. And in actuality, it's like, did you is it really heartbreak or are you creating it by repeating this I don't know, this story to yourself? And then look at this one. It's like, okay, well, I don't have all my swords anymore, but look at me. I'm looking off this way, not at this person. This crow looks like it's conserving its energy because it already knows that it was right. Okay. It already knows that the way that it thinks and speaks is right. And so there's no sense in like swimming against the current, right? It's or trying to fly with all this baggage, right? Okay. So the Page of Wands is this new message of creativity. And it's blessed by the sun, right? So it's like, here we go. It's This card separated into two different cards, right? So we're getting this repeating message of like the creativity is coming from spirit. It's new. It's just for you. It's calling. It's cawing. All right. Where'd it go? There we go. And the sun is it's what is it? 19. It's the number 19 card. Um, which 1 plus 9 equals 8. Which if you turn 8 on its side, it's like an infinity loop. Okay, so you have to see all of this symbolism that is in there. But the sun is the brightest card in the deck, obviously, because it's the sun, but it's like very positive energy. It's the time of year that we're in right now, is spring, where the sun stays out longer and things are starting to grow. Okay. So we've got this we've got this 8 of Swords card, and we've got this Page of Pentacles card. Okay. So we have the 7 of Swords, and then we have the 8 of Swords. And what that is showing is like when this crow goes off with these extra swords as its burden, the only thing it's going to do is probably like accumulate more swords because it thinks that it needs to hold on to all its old broken thoughts. Because I guess, what do we think? The way to escape future heartache is by um not letting somebody hurt us again. Okay. That is not like an open heart. That is not the space that you want to be in if you're trying to have loving, emotional, fulfilling relationships. Okay. So that's what this is. This is like this is a prison of your thoughts. And the blindfold is showing it's like you can't see that you could get out of that at any time. The blindfold is held down by this sword. So fly up and get out of that shit. Okay. Because there is a new way of abundance coming in for you. And it's because you are going with what spirit is showing you. You are using your childish nature. You are using what's been consistent within you since childhood. And only you can know that. Only you can know that you are never going to change because you never change. What matters to you from when you were a child is going to matter to you until the day that you die. So go ahead, give yourself permission to get in alignment with it because it's your spirit that is telling you that that's the truth. Okay. 8 of Wands. That is a message coming in fast, fast, fast. And that is what is crowning this. So let me see if I can put this together for you in the way that you can see what this reading looks like if you have it built up the way that I like to see it. All right, hang on a second. Okay, check it out. So that's kind of what the final spread looks like. So it's like an arrow pointing down from the deck that represents the body. There's an arrow pointing up in the deck that represents the mind. Let's see if I can look it up some without tipping it off the table. Um, yeah, so it's an arrow up that represents the mind, and then it would be like an arrow up this way, if you could form it like that, to show you how spirit is working in your favor. So it's sort of this like Holy Trinity reading that I really enjoy. And now I've kind of like moved past it, but it's one of the tools in my bag of, you know, something that feels authentic to me. I don't see people doing these readings. This was just kind of an idea that came to me. And so what I want to know is, does this resonate with you? Does this finally resonate with where you're at? Like, do you feel like things have been stagnant for the past 5 years? Because I know in my life they have been, but I just can't take it anymore, right? It's like I have been feeling so much anger over the past couple of weeks. And then got I got into listening to Rage Against the Machine again, and I never like heard this part of what is it? I can't think of what the song is right now. But is it Freedom? Maybe it's Freedom. In the song, Zach De La Rocha, he says anger is a gift. And he says it right at, for the first time, he says it twice. He says it at 144. And for me, that's a very important number. And if you are familiar with why, then you know why. But I've been seeing it like ever since I heard about it. And that had to be 18 years ago. Okay. At least since then. And I recently went to church and they told the story of the 144,000. So, messages come through everywhere that you're at. Okay. But anyway, so I heard that anger is a gift, and I was like, Oh my gosh, I forgot that for so long I felt like I cannot be angry because I'm a single mom, and like just because I've been trying to be more spiritual and open with what what God wants. What would Jesus do? All these different things. Like, oh yeah, well also Jesus went into the church and was flipping tables because what was it, like Sodom and Gomorrah? Is that what that story comes from? Because people were like gambling in the church. So it's not like Jesus was not without emotion. Matter of fact, I have a really good book on that, and we will read that in the future on this channel. But yeah, I want to sign off here. I love you. I hope you enjoyed that. And I want you to get back to me and give me some comments about, like, does this sync up with you? What's been going on? I just really look for, oh, and this reminded me because it said 30:41 on the timer, that the second time that Zach says anger is a gift, it was at 3 minutes and 41 seconds, which when I see number combinations, they have a certain meaning to me. So like 143 means I love you, because we used to text it to each other as I love you when we had pagers. So when I see it in different orders, it still means the same thing. Okay. So it was 341. So that's 143 backwards. And so he said that at two very significant points in the song at times, that those number combinations really mean something to me. Okay. So I just want you to start learning how to play around and interact with your environment more on this like spiritual synchronistic level. Okay. Because we're there, we are here, we are ready. And I know, like, if you feel connected to this, we are on the same team. It does not matter where we're at. So I love you. I'm signing off. I hope you enjoyed it. Goodbye. I'll see you again soon.